Alright, so it's kind of funny is that I'm still waiting on 2 books, but I counted the books and it's still at 22. Now, for now, I'm going to make it 22 because I can read each day 11 books. Yeah, on school days, it's a lot harder because even though I get home for like 3 o'clock, that's 3 o'clock to 10 o'clock when I go to bed, or I'm supposed to go to bed, but sometimes I don't because I can't fall asleep right away sometimes. But honestly, I'm doing pretty good. Like 11 o'clock at the latest. Um, so, but then like today, like weekends, a lot easier. But um, what I'm going to, that's me for now, and eventually I do want to get to like maybe like 12 books in total, so it's 6 per day, but or it's 14, so it's maybe actually no 18 is good. I mean 18 is a good number. That's 8. Sorry, that's maybe 19. I'm doing the math wrong. No, 18 divided by 2 is it's 9. No, I was right. It's a 9. Or 20, so it's 10. That's a lot. Probably like 7. So it's 14 both. I don't know. Anyways, isn't the same? No. Anyways, I do want to eventually get to like even 10, so it's 5 per day. So I have no time, so I can do other things rather than just read every day after school. You know, like catch an episode of Invincible finally, get caught up on that show, and then The Boys and Lock and Key, and then all these shows that I'm putting behind. And I still haven't finished those 3 movies that I had: the Rogue One, Secret of NIMH, and Monkey Man. And those I've had. Monkey Man I've had it for a little less, but like other two I've had for like since I had the first stack of books with Waiting Place and um, many others. But anyways, so the way I do the books is that back like it's in general I would do both. It would be like, oh, I got this book from Sean Lewis from Image Comics. To celebrate, I want to get this book. See what the library has for him. I know Sean Lewis is the writer I like, so I want to get more of his work. Or it's like with Sean Kelly McKeever, I'm not the biggest fan of his Image work. I did buy his Outpost Zero Complete Collection just because I wanted it and it was like cheap, and I was like, I have the money for it, why not get it? Do that again, do the whole library had it, now I have kind of thing. I do it really for Image, and probably I'll break that rule completely for when I get Preacher, whenever I do get Preacher, because I think I should own that in my PC, even if it's just a complete collections, which are the most affordable way of getting that series and getting it like, you know. Anyways, but yeah, Sean McKeever, I am not the biggest fan of his work, so let's check out more of his work. And Waiting Place, spoilers, I think I already talked about it because I'm filming these videos ahead of time, was my pick of the week that past week. It was really damn good, like super good. So I want to check out more of his work to like kind of more or less have a reason for why I bought his Image work. And then you'll have authors I'm not like 100% sure of, like Kurt Pyers. And I was like, oh, check out his other work, because I'm not like I got it because I wanted to own it because it did interest me, and he has done a lot for the Comixology freebies, so I'd do that. So just that, and it also would be, oh, Mark Russell. I don't have anything. He's done nothing for Image, but I just want to check out his the Wonder Twins series. I was just out of pure curiosity, or his Fantastic Four life story, which I was supposed to get, but didn't have it. Maybe the London Library lost the book. I knew they had it, the London Library lost the book. But now what I want to do is I want to do either or. The last time you saw it was like Sean McKeever, then it was I had one by Stephanie Phillips, which is a new one that you'll see get reviewed. Which is why I don't mind doing this right now. I'm just showing off the books because I still have 2 outstanding books, but they'll come in and then I don't show them like I did for Rogue and Gambit. But then like all these authors that have done Image work, I got their stuff from other publishers from the library. So what they have in the library for these authors. Or this time it's gonna be everything like miscellaneous. Like, oh, like Jeff Loeb hasn't done any, at least I think he has not done nothing for Image Comics yet. But I still wanted to read his Daredevil Yellow, which is the first book. So that's what it's going to be from now on. It's going to be either or. And yes, I should have done this a long time ago, and I wish I had done this a long time ago. I'll still keep doing this. So once summer comes and the vacations come, I can really appreciate it. I can really, like, dive deep into it, you know? Because now I'm like, oh, I can only read half of them per day, but if it's 22, you know? And even if it's 11, even if it's 10, I probably would just still do half and half. But anyways, without further ado, let's show them off. First one up being, like I mentioned before, Daredevil Yellow. This one is one I've read before, and the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are all rereads. And you have some after that I'm not 100% sure if I've read the whole entire thing, because of how long it's been since I've read them. But Daredevil Yellow, these rereads fall under 3 categories. I'll always mention this, no matter how many videos you watch of mine, because again, every comic is someone's first comic, every YouTube video of mine is someone's first YouTube video they're watching of my channel. So my rereads fall under 3 categories. One, I liked it a lot, like this one, and it's on average my every 6-month rule. I read it every 6 months, on average. Sometimes every 3 months, sometimes it's every month. Very rare for that to happen, but every 3 months to every year. And, you know, so I'd say every 6 months as an average. Then the second one is, I didn't really like it. I'm giving it a second chance. That was a great example of Sandman, which you will be seeing. And the third one is, there's a series, like I thought would happen with Tom King's Batman. Started out as a reread. Yeah, I want to read this again every 6 month rule. But I also want to finish it once and for all, because my library, I'll have it lending for other libraries, which is fine. But they'll have it. And they did, unfortunately. They stopped after, I think it was chapter 10, or volume 10. It's really annoying. Yes, it was after volume 10. And what was, like, even more annoying was the fact that, my room is so small that I can't have anything behind me. I can't have, like, I put stuff away, okay, this is out of the way. I can walk to in front of my door to my bed. If I put something, like, on my bureau, my room is so small that I can't do this and also have it right behind me. I keep saying right behind me. Obviously, that's. I'm not trying to do that. Moving on. My point is that I was saying it like, yeah, obviously, put it behind you, you're gonna run into it. But what I'm trying to say is that the room is so small that even if I have it, like, not, you wouldn't think, oh, it isn't in the way because it's off to the side. It's like, you know, it's the wall. The room is so small that the way I'm sitting here, kneeling here, I run into stuff. Didn't think I'd run into it. That was the point I was trying to make. Next one is Venom Dark Origin. This is kind of like in between the first and second one. I don't remember being too crazy about this the first time I read it. And I kind of saw it and I was like, you know, it's been a long, long time. Let's reread this one again. Like, I don't remember a single thing about this book, even flipping through it right now. I just remember, and even then I don't think that's the case. Like, I don't know if that's the case. Not that I don't think it's the case. I don't know if it's the case that I actually liked it. Part of me wants to say I read it and it wasn't too crazy about it, but also part of me wants to say that I liked it enough. I'm pretty sure I've read this before. I go to because I make markings on this book. So far, these are all books from my personal collection. I wanted to say there's a marking. I wanted to do a little bit of both. My personal collection and then from the library themselves. And it was also just to kind of break even to get to 22. Originally, I was going to make it be like 10 at most, but then I kept thinking books. I was like, oh, let's do that one. Oh, let's do that one. And then eventually it's like, all right, make it 22, and then we'll do the same thing. Then we'll truly do an every other kind of thing. And there is one downside. Like, there's a series that I'm on like volume 2 of, like, Batgirl by Gail Simone, but I have to wait till next time because it's gonna break the rule that I'm trying to do. It's a little method, but I mean, I took a really long break from a lot of these books. Still have not read or picked back up on Journey into Mystery by Kieran Gillen, so the complete collections at least. There's only 2 of those, and it's taken me like months to finish off the series. So long so that I almost do want to go back to volume 1 when I pick it back up. Probably won't though. Batgirl and the Birds of Prey. This one, the lend is two catalogs you can enter loan books from. The first one says no volumes 2 and 3. This is my local library. When I go to, like, say, oh, I went to the library today, yada yada, that's the library I go to. They have books they have comics in the actual library themselves. Not obviously not enough for me because I've read them all, most of them. Honestly, they do actually, they will actually put new releases, but not often enough. So I usually interloan books. But this is a reread. And I'll do that too. Like it's to the point where I probably, if I had to, like, if they had like a long break from doing interloans, I would still go to the library somewhat as often as I normally do, but not get as much, obviously, because of how many books I wanted to reread and all that stuff. But anyways, but then on their older system, volumes 2 and 3 of the series say not on shelf, which could mean one of two things. One, it's in storage because I have so many books on that shelf, on that bookshelf, because they got new releases and all that they can't hold this. Or like Sculpted, Captain Marvel volumes 2 and 3, and many others. They got rid of it and they're like, oh, this book never existed. To be fair, I didn't ask the actual person that does that, but you think he would know. That's the guy that I talked to about comics, and we would exchange comics here and there, and movies. Mostly movies. He doesn't read a whole lot of comics, but that guy. But the one I call library guy. But I don't know. I honestly, I hate to say it, but I probably don't have volumes 2 and 3 of the series, and I really liked it. I don't know why they do that either. Like, get rid of the stupid series, like Trip Root, whatever that book was called. It was like the gardening one that was kind of gay. Get rid of Heartstopper. Get rid of, like, all these series that, I'm not saying to get rid of Heartstopper because I'm a homophobe, but no, get rid of Heartstopper because all the other libraries have it. Because every library is legally required to own it. And you could just say, well, I don't want to get the actual library's name. Dell Laboratories Library has this book in their collection. We don't need it. And obviously that's like, and then take out Heartstopper and then lend it to the, I don't know, it's just stupid. Why get rid of books? And they keep doing it too. Like, I'll keep being surprised. I'll be like, okay, so this time I want to check out, recently it was Sculpted. I was like, I remember really liking that book. Yeah, it's 500 pages and it's an OGN, but I'll read it chapter by chapter. They have chapters, whatever. Still want to read it. And then I was looking for it, and then did not find it. And I've come to find out, it's gone. And it wasn't like a mistake, like they had it as an interloan book, but they just recently realized, oh shit, it's a interloan book, and it returns to the actual library. No, it was the library go-to itself. It's the weirdest thing. I hate it so much when it happens. It's oh my god. Because it's a surprise. It's never like, they never say, like, on their little newsletter, oh, we're getting rid of this book because this stupid reason. I don't understand it whatsoever. Eat the Rich. This is one of these. We already are on the interloans. But this one was one I interloaned. This one I want every 6 month rule. So far, these are every 6 month rule. I would say even Venom Dark Origin. But I really dig this book. I think it's a supremely underrated comic. Like, no one talks about it. It's just a fun book too. I compared it to Jordan Peele. Like, if this gets adapted into a feature film, I think Jordan Peele would be fantastic. A fantastic director to direct it. But someone like that, like anyone that's like Jordan Peele and still makes good movies, not a ripoff, obviously, of Jordan Peele or discount Jordan Peele, would be perfect, a perfect choice to direct the feature adaptation. Because it has that kind of same feel as Get Out did, where it's social commentary, but it also entertains. It also, like, it has a lot of undertones, and I think I wouldn't say it has a lot of undertones. Like, I don't think, like, each time I read it, I'll understand, oh, there's a little subtle hint there, but maybe. It's been a little while. The aforementioned Sandman, Volume 9. This is Volume 9. But this series as a whole is a series that took me forever to get into. Yeah, I always have my favorites. I always, since day one, really liked Thessaly, and this one too. The Thessaly arc, story arc that was Thessaly, Barbie, and Wanda. I really dug that one. I thought even like reading it like recently, I was like, damn, now that is why people like Sandman. But then you'll get Fables and Reflections, which the most recent time I read it, I didn't hate it as much as I did before, but it's still, if I was to rank all the Sandman volume story arcs, that would be at the bottom. Like, it'd be in a Shadow Realm. It's that annoyingly bad. Maybe I'd take it out of the Shadow Realm and be like, okay, none of them are in the Shadow Realm anymore, but it is F tier, in my personal opinion. But it still has the... Even saying F tier is a little bit cruel because of that last story with Orpheus, I think his name is. It's Morpheus's son with the hairless guy. I really like that story. But just in general, like, Sandman is never going to be my top 20. And even then, if I put it in my top 20, it'll be an honorable mention at best. But because of volumes like this, I do understand why people like the series so much as a whole. This one was, I believe, the Daniel one. With Daniel. I really like that one. It is. Looks like almost like Thessaly makes a return. Right? Can't tell. But kindly ones. This one's a lot of issues too. It's like 12 issues. It's thicker than I thought it was. I thought at most it was like 9 issues. And it's not too much. Get it? Because it's volume 9. But it's not too much more than what I said. 9 to 12. It's not a whole lot. It's just 10, 11, 12. 3 more issues. Symbiote Spider-Man is my personal collection. This is a great example of that third criteria of, oh, well, I have the entire series except for $29.99. But when I read this the first time, I just got so far behind on reading volume 2 that I was like, it spent too long. I gotta reread volume 1. Rejigger my memory, and then I'll read volume 2, and then 3 and 4. I think there's 5 total, not including $29.99, which I don't because it's not Peter Parker. I'll read $29.99. Like, by the time it comes out, even if I put in the book now, it'll be in the library. Because you can also do, if no other libraries have the book you're looking for, you can do what's called a materials request from your local library. I've been doing a lot though, so I'm probably limited at this point. I still obviously did limit myself. And then this next one I've always cited as being my favorite Spider-Man series, comic of all time. My favorite Spider-Man comic of all time. And that is Kraven's Last Hunt. Also, the movie's coming out somewhat soon, so added bonus. Get revamp my memory on Kraven before the movie comes out. And then, you guys, again, I've always said it's my favorite Spider-Man comic, but I don't think I've ever reviewed this book on this channel. And if I did, I think I did before, but it was like my favorite comics of all time. Even that was a long time ago. So I want to reread it. I doubt that my opinion will change. Maybe I'll say, well, I mean, this Spider-Man book is a little bit better, but I probably will always cite that as my favorite comic. Yeah, it's supremely dark for a Spider-Man book, but it also, has a reason for existing. It was not your average Spider-Man comic. Then we have Riddler Year 1. This is a every 6 month rule. I really, really dug this book, and I did say I would reread the Batman. Rewatch the Batman. I didn't say that. I did it last time. The first time I read this, I rewatched the Batman. I'm glad I did because there was a lot of information. It's a prequel to the Batman. And there was a lot of stuff I forgot about in the Batman. When I read this the first time, I was like, oh, so it's made that experience all the better. It hasn't been that long since I've seen the Batman, and I don't usually rewatch movies. Not even like 6 months, even 6 months down the line, I won't rewatch a movie. But I will reread them. What's your thought? On the back. I noticed this has all the books here. I actually own all these. It's kind of funny. Because of DC books, I haven't been keeping up with them. But yeah, Riddler Year 1. I don't know why my voice keeps doing like it's stuffy kind of thing. You know, like nasally, not stuffy, nasally. Let's go nasal. But whether you're one, I completely lost the train of thought. We read it, the Batman. I'm not gonna rewatch the Batman because I remember enough from it. It's possible I will. Oh, that was the point I was trying to make. The reason why that is because I'm gonna limit the amount of movies I check out from like a library because of the fact that I don't have enough time to watch them. I can't watch them during the week and the weekend. I didn't realize until recently, until like the other day. I was like, oh yeah, unless it's 2 movies, even then it's a lot. I will not have a time even during the weekends to watch them because I watch 1 movie a day, maybe 2 if I watch the first one early enough. But even like last night, I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch Monkey Man, and then this got too late, and then I got tired. I was like, you know what, going to bed. Now this one, so we're done with the rereads, at least the ones I know I've read all the way through. This next one, I know I've read a little bit of it, but I don't. Yeah, okay, actually check. I wasn't 100% sure if I finished it all the way through. I actually think I did because I thought I had started on volume 2. Let's see. Nope, I didn't. There's no marking here. Alright, so this is Suicide Squad volume 1 of New 52. It says kicked in the teeth, right? Yes. For whatever reason, and she's nowhere listed on here, I thought this was written by Amanda Connor. I don't know why. Maybe because it's Harley Quinn. I was like, oh, well, they did Harley Quinn New 52, her and Jimmy Palmiotti, but I was wrong. Now, I was going to read New Suicide Squad beforehand, other than read this, but I think New Suicide Squad is like it comes after this, and I'm almost positive it does. So, New Suicide Squad Volume 1, I'll read this, and then I'll read New Suicide Squad. And hopefully, the library has the rest of the series. I own the first 2 volumes of this Suicide Squad series. I know they have all 3 volumes of New Suicide Squad. There only is 3 volumes. I assume there is, because it was Convergence, and Convergence didn't last for too much longer before Rebirth, because they just ended that whole continuity as a whole, and then just revamped for Rebirth. So I'm assuming, like with Batgirl, the one I really hate, with Convergence, it's just 3 volumes of New Suicide Squad. But yeah, eventually we will get to the Brennan Fletcher's absolutely abhorrent run for DC Convergence's Batgirl. That run I hate. Because Gail Simone's run, I still think is supremely underrated. And overhated. I get people hate it, but it's just really damn good, and it goes complete nosedive. Like, even if you didn't like Gail Simone's run on Batgirl, I think everyone can agree it took a complete nosedive. Maybe she deserved to get fired because of her actions on social media, but we got worse today. So she could finish her run. Astonishing X-Men. So when I read, when I had decided to read Mutant Massacre X-Men, I think it was like 1 issue in, I was like, Astonishing X-Men, I want to read that one. And then it made reading that book even worse because Mutant Massacre is a complete mess. I feel like even if I had all the context in the world for that series, it's still a mess. Especially because they have those Thor issues. I'm sorry. I'm going to piss off so many people right here, but I do not like Walter Simonson's run on Thor. I know, that's my blasphemous take. But I mean, John Byrne, I think, would do a fantastic run on X-Men. He did. I know he did the artwork for Chris Claremont when Chris Claremont was on there, but I mean, like, writing it. I'm sure he did. But, like, his Superman run, I read 1 issue of that because that Suicide Squad book, that was fantastic. That was, like, even today, by today's standards, that was fantastic. I cannot wait to read that Superman run because I had the 4 hardcovers. The best decision I ever made was deciding to purchase those, even though I bought them almost at cover price for each volume. So it's $50 each volume. Thankfully, I didn't wait till they all came out to get them all at once. I would not be able to get them. But anyways, Astonishing X-Men Volume 1. There's 2 of these complete collections, at least for Joss Whedon's run. And I think the library, I think they have at least the next few volumes afterwards, which is nice. So, here we go. Then we have Batman Under the Red Hood, the sequel to Death in the Family. A lot of these I've just been putting off. That's why I decided to put these, to do some of my personal collection on top of the ones in the library, was because I had putting these ones off for so damn long. They decided, you know what, once and for all, yet again, reading these the first time. And then that's where Batman Under the Red Hood comes in. And that's why and I realized, like, it's been so long since I've read A Death in the Family. Thankfully, it's such a, like, a groundbreaking, well-known story that all I had to do was just watch the Comic Pop video to re-jigger the memory. And even then, I was like, I remember that, I remember that, I remember that, I remember that. Awesome. So I can read this without having to worry about me forgetting certain details out of A Death in the Family. Now, will I watch the movie afterwards? Of course I will. I cannot. I honestly, I really, really like that animated movie that I might just watch beforehand. But again, I still gotta watch those other 3 movies before any of that happens. Daredevil, The Man Without Fear. After I'd read Born Again, I was like, oh yeah, there's also Man Without Fear. Yeah, I know I'm doing this in the weirdest order possible. I'm not going to because I have all of Frank Miller's run on Daredevil in general. Yeah, I know I should go to the beginning, but I didn't. And honestly, with Born Again is its own standalone story for the most part, so I didn't need to read anything beforehand. But then, now this is Man Without Fear. And this one is just retelling his origin, from what I remember. Now, like with another book, you'll soon see here, each issue is very long. Actually, it's not... It does the page numbers. Nice. Alright, so... let's see. It ends on page... This is issue 3. So it can't be that long, because we're almost at the... Yeah, maybe I was wrong. I always thought that each issue was super long. Because it's 33, ends on page 33, but starts on page 7. Huh. Never mind then, I take it back. But Daredevil, Man Without Fear. I'll probably... This one is, like... Frank Miller's run on Daredevil, I think, has to be one of the best from what I've read so far. I did read some of the earlier issues, but from what I've read so far, like, it's one of the most timeless comics of all time. Like, if it just updated the artwork and updated some of the language, again, like, some, actually, no, none of the language, you wouldn't be able to tell. Yeah, there's a lot of narration. Sometimes one issue had a lot of narration than the other issues did, but for the most part, like, you could, like, it's so timeless that you couldn't even tell if it was made way back in '86. You'd be like, oh, well, that was made in... They just update the artwork, made it look like a modern artwork, and then release it today as, like, an April... I guess, like, as an April Fool's joke. It did all that. No one would be able to tell the difference who didn't know any better. That's how good his run is. Everyone would know, obviously, because I think even if you're even somewhat into comics, you already know of Frank Miller's Daredevil run. But honestly, if you hadn't read it before, and if they changed they went so far as this little April Fool's joke to also change Frank Miller's name to, like, something different, you would not be able to tell the difference. Again, if you hadn't read it before, obviously. Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider. This is the follow-up to Jason Latour's run, and I was thinking of this the other day. I was like, because I did some research. It's like, well, there's only 2 volumes of the series, but there's an omnibus, and I'm like, oh, shoot, does that mean that they don't have whatever comes after this? And I hope they do, but they don't. I'll just read what they have. But this one is follow-up to Jason Latour's run. I cannot wait to read this series. They also changed the artists. But Ghost Spider. Will it be the Brennan Fletcher of Spider-Gwen runs? I don't know. I hope not. Next up, we have one that I don't think I've ever talked about it. I taught English on it once before on this. It's one of the books that honestly I'd completely forget about if it wasn't for reading it back in the day. I didn't even finish it. This is Absolution. It was pretty good. It was definitely not like anything groundbreaking. But when I read the first issue, I was like, this is pretty good. Did I finish this one? I don't think I finished this one. I know I read the first 2 issues. I was honestly kind of hooked. I was like, this is actually pretty damn good. No, I didn't finish this. But it wasn't anything groundbreaking either. It was kind of like, it's above average slightly, but like nothing to write home about. And I honestly do forget about this series every now and then, and I'll remember it again. It's like a routine, but finishing this series once and for all. At least what I own so far. At least what I own of this. It's from Avatar Press. I don't think I'll ever finish. Because Avatar Press has to be one of just the most like average indie publishers out there. Everything I've read from them, from big name writers, has been okay. Has been mid to average. I would even go so far as to say Absolution. Again, I only said it was slightly above average, but I'll still say average. In general. When I reread Warren Ellis's, wasn't where the President one was. That one I really liked. The second time I read it, I really liked it, but it's still average. Giant Days, Volume 6. It's continuing this series that I still think is really good. It has not gotten to Lumberjanes level yet. Well, with Lumberjanes, it was because they changed the authors. And they have yet to change authors here, thankfully. When they changed the authors, it was like, that's pretty noticeable. It's still kind of good, but it's pretty noticeable. And the only reason I dropped it was because I was kind of just getting sick of it. And I was like, you know what? Let's give it a break, and then we'll come back to it and probably like it a lot more because we'll be missing the series. It's not bad. It's not Brennan Fletcher Batgirl bad, but it's kind of like I'm kind of getting sick of the series. And there's like several volumes of Lumberjanes. So I was like, you know what, let's take a break, and I haven't looked back since. Mostly, but I keep forgetting about the series. This next one is one that I am actually surprised I've not read this yet. And that, well, I am and I'm not, and that is Deceased. Now, part of the reason why I've taken so long to read this series is because they kept making sequels. They kept saying, oh, the sequel's coming out. And I get the newest book, you get newest hardcover, and then the last one, I think it was, whatever the last one is called, when that came out in hardcover format, I was just getting image books, and I was like, I can't afford to get that with the image book I'm getting. I'm gonna have to wait till a sale comes along. And the sale did come along. I got it back in December, but even since then, I'm like, why have I not read this series yet? Breaking that rule, reading this once and for all. Cannot wait to. This is basically Marvel Zombies with DC characters. That same kind of feel where it's the DC characters as zombies, and impeccable artwork too. But and this is also another thing. So the artist here is at least one of them. There it is Trevor Harrison. Yes, I do have his Class War, but it's written by Rob Williams, but he does the artwork. I don't include artists. I only include writers as I want to see what else they have from Ancient, that whole thing. So this one is still the same rule as miscellaneous. Still falls under that category. These next three is all by the same writer, and that is Christopher Cantwell. Now, Christopher Cantwell, I know, is a very controversial writer among that crowd of YouTube, and even like every last person agrees with everyone else has been saying that. If you've been following them recently, like your boy Zach has been going after these guys, but I think for good reason, because they just do like stupidest videos ever. If you want like a kind of like how I am, but a little bit more. If you want what I like, my take on comics, but from an older gentleman who likes older comics, you want that kind of feel, but you also want him to like, not like. Basically, he's in the middle between the ones that love every comic that's come out and will like that crowd, but then you also have the outrage culture crowd. He's right in the middle. Like, he's the best middle ground that you could have. He goes after every last person on each side. If you want someone like that, I would say go subscribe to his channel. I don't really care about all that drama, so I care about enough to read about it and like watch videos on it. But beyond that, I'm not gonna make my own video on it. I'll just say go to your boy Zach's channel. He's covered it way better than I ever have. But anyways, like all those guys, and I think even some on the other side, aren't the biggest fans of Christopher Cantwell because of his Iron Man run, which I completely completely understand, but I really liked his Doom run, and ever since I've read that Doom run, I've wanted to check out more of his work, and I have here and there. But just recently, I was just 3 books short, so I was like, you know what? Let's check out these books. And that's also the reason why I broke that rule too. And instead of doing it was like 12, and I read like 6 per day. I was like, you know what? Let's just do 22 again. First up is the Blue Flame. This is the complete collection from Vault Comics. And Vault Comics is complete series are usually just because they say, oh, it's a mini-series, so complete series. So it's like a 5-issue mini-series. This is actually 10 issues, so it makes sense for them to call this trade the complete series, because they could have just done 2 volumes, but they did 1. I don't know if this was done afterwards, but same diff here. This is all the Blue Flame. And none of these I've actually heard of before, except for the next one, which was Brer. This one I have heard of before. And unlike Blue Flame, this is, you can tell it's very thin. This is only 4 issues, and I believe there's at least 1 more volume after this. No, I don't know why they couldn't kind of just waited to do what Vault did, do the complete collection, because I don't think Library has volume 2. We'll look after it, actually. If I remember to do it, look after. Then we have Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body. I got 36 minutes. I know, I've done a lot of, tangents and whatnot. This is other Boom Studios work. There's no way there's only 4 issues. It's gonna be at least 6. Boom Studios is definitely that. Oh, yes, isn't it OGN? Nope, it's not. They just didn't have a cover there. 1 through 5. I was right in the middle. It was right in the middle of what I said. Yeah, Boom Studios, if I ever, get out of that Image, if I finally am satisfied for what I have for Image books, and I move on to another publisher to get all their books, because I can't afford to get anything else. I can't afford to do Image, Boom Studios, Dark Horse, one of each. No, I can't do that. Especially some of the books I want are 2 issues, they're 2 volumes from Image. But Boom Studios is probably going to be the next one I go to afterwards. Boom Studios has a lot of good series. They have Something Is Killing the Children, a series I don't think will ever end. I would not be surprised if it goes on for 100 issues. Hell, 100 more issues after this, because that series just keeps going, and there's already a spin-off, and I'm sure James Tynion will be like, yeah, let's do a 3rd spin-off, if he hasn't already. I think if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he doing a 3rd one? It isn't out yet, I don't think, but it was coming out next year or something, or within the next few months, whatever. I don't know. I'm so far behind that series. I do care because I want to finish the series and get all caught up, but not enough to do that now. 3 more. We have Nightwing Volume 2 by Tom Taylor. Now this one is a good example of I don't really care. I should care, but I kind of don't, because something like Tom King Batman, they didn't have Volume 11. So I only was able to read the first 10 volumes. So going by that rule, sometimes I'm like, you know what? They have Nightwing Volume 2. Let's just read it. Yeah, I don't have Volume 3. Maybe one day they will. So here is Nightwing Tom Taylor Volume 2. And I don't think we'll see Volume 3. At least for the Angel Loans. You'll probably see it on a digital. There's a digital sale. This one is one of that's going to be a very interesting read for me, because this is 3 issues in this thick ass hardcover, and that is Superman Space Age. I almost want to say this is as thick as the Superman Red and Blue hardcover, and that was 5 issues, and even then it was double the size of your average comic issue. I think I want to say this was 50 pages each, but I'm gonna flip through it, and I don't think there's a whole lot of extras at the end. There is not. There's probably 20 pages of extras at most. And the paper quality they use isn't really thick like the one you'll see next after this, so maybe it's even 60 pages each issue. Look it up after again. I just before and look up to see if they have Brer Volume 2. Interloaned. Yeah, Superman Space Age. I wanted to read this one for a long time. And it just was one of those books that I kept forgetting about to interloan. And then when I did, it was just too soon, because it's a new release. Recent release. I shouldn't say new release. New release sounds dumb. And then last, but certainly not the least, is Absolute Dark Knight by Frank Miller. collecting the first and second series of The Dark Knight Returns. Now, I have read Dark Knight Returns volume of the first series. I thought it was pretty good. You know, I understand why it's so groundbreaking, but it's a bit dated here and there. Not only am I giving that a second chance because I want to reread it, and I feel like it was blasphemous for me to say that. Even now, I feel like it's blasphemous. So I want to reread that series, but also finally, once and for all, finish the Dark Knight Returns saga. I've read each and every one besides the second series, Strikes Again. I just kept putting it off. Like, I because of how much I liked Batman and Robin, All-Star Batman and Robin, I'm like, okay, Frank Miller is going to be, I feel like Frank Miller is going to be that writer that even his bad stuff, I'll like it, and in some degree. Not as good as his good stuff, obviously, and it's just as bad as everyone is saying it is, but it's fun bad. Like, All-Star Batman and Robin is probably my number one guilty pleasure. Just in general, not of comics, not of movies, not of video games, in general. It is probably my biggest guilty pleasure. I love that book so much that I might just, if I find it at a good price, I'll buy the Absolute Edition myself, because the one they had in the library is falling apart. Not because of me, but might be, honestly. Honestly, I would not be surprised the next time I check it out, it completely falls apart. It's so damn good. I honestly recommend that series. It's probably like, if it's probably is in my top 20. Not, I mean, you know, because it's really good, because it kind of, and I put it as an honorable mention, like maybe a dishonorable mention, but it's just so good. Again, it's my every 6 months when I have to reread that series. I might just do it after this, next time I do this little, you know, miscellaneous comic haul. Library haul. But that, as I say, is that. Bunch of books to read. I still have to finish the first set, and I think this video has been going on for 41 minutes. So, long enough video, that is that. So, I want to look up two things. Okay, first we'll do the Superman Space Age. So, this is just kind of like a post-credit scene. So, you don't want to stick around for this. You can leave. I don't mind. It's only 41 minutes. I know some of you guys like to skip through it anyways. Which I have no problem with, by the way. I don't care. I do the same thing with other YouTubers. And yes, I do take off my glasses when I'm on the computer. Well, you can't see it. Yes, I can. Oh, when a laptop I have a Dell. What was it? I kept on saying a Dell Latitude 3310. I kept wanting to say Inspiron because that was the first one I had. That I counted. Because I used to get hand-me-downs that were like so far out of date. They're so outdated that I was surprised, legitimately shocked, when one of them that I got actually had internet access. That is how old those were. My mom got them from her work because they was outdated. I couldn't use it. Okay, so, oh my god. Oh my lord. It's $10 on 89 pages. Oh, and also post-credit scene. The ones that haven't come in yet is Robin, Son of Batman, Volume 2. The Fall of Hyperborea. Miss Truesdale and the Fall of Hyperborea. Cannot wait to read that one. I was actually shocked that one came in. It wasn't supposed to until the 17th, but the person that was reading it was probably like, oh shit, someone else wants it. Gonna be a good little boy, and return it early. And then there's 3 of them total, I think. Or it's just 2 of them. No, there's 2 of them, sorry. Just Robin, Son of Batman, and the other one. There you go. Yeah, 89 pages. I don't know if I'm going to read this one until after. Like, maybe that will be the one that I... Because some of these books are only 4 issues. So, I'll take that one out and put the other one in there. Yeah, my god. 89 pages. 85 pages. My god, that's a lot. Because that's going to be like the only thing I read that day. And I don't want that to happen. Oh, yeah, Brer. See if they have Brer Volume 2. And possibly... Not Amazon. And possibly... Fantastic Four Life Story. But I doubt that one's going to come in. Brer... Christopher... Cantwell. Volume 1. Damn it. Yeah, just Volume 1. Damn it. That is it. Also, so for this one, I'm not going to do it the week after the last video I have uploaded ahead of time. I don't want to be going into October and then Maybe I will. I don't know. Because of how like long it's gonna be for me to read, even like how long it's been for me to read the rest of them. It's just like I don't know. I like having weekly uploads, and the best way to make sure that that stays the same, even with my job now, the best way to do that is to do weekly uploads. So upload this the week after the last one, and vice versa. Week. Don't know. That's it though.